And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Monday, December 7th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. It's a Monday morning, and we're already having fun. We welcome you to our program, Coleman and Company, live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed, now in its 28th year.
Wow.
We've been doing this for 27 years plus. So we are on the air for Absolute Kubota, and Don Hamlet is with us this morning. Welcome back.
Hey, good morning.
You skipped us during the whole month of November, right?
Awesome, yes.
Yeah. And we've had TR,
Yep.
Kirby, and we've, of course, had the number one main man, Matt Bryson.
The Matt Man.
Yeah, the Matt Man.
There you go.
Well, Absolute Kubota is now located at 1506 West Main here in Lebanon, and things are definitely looking up, and Don's going to tell us about it.
We're loving it over there. It's a great location out further closer to the street. Once again, we want to thank everybody that's been coming in and that does business with us. We hope that we're providing them a good service because we really appreciate their business, and everything's been rolling right along down there. We're really enjoying it.
Well, I was telling you, I passed by your place last night. Of course, it was dark, but I could see you've got a lot over there, and as you said, it is close to West Main, close to the highway. Yeah. On your property, of course, then you got the sidewalk, but you can just readily see it when you pass by.
A lot of orange out front
out
there.
Is. Yes, sir.
We've even had people just stop in just to tell us how nice everything looks. We appreciate that, too. We've been working hard to get it looking like it does. I know the ownership did an excellent job of making it so that when we came in and sat down at our desk, it was just like we had never moved. The phones were working, the computers worked. We were able to take care of our customers and get them quotes and get our deals done just like always. It's been working great.
Well, that's tremendous. And of course, with more room, you have more items for sale that you can display there.
Oh yeah, it's easier to see it. Like I said, it's out on the road. We've already made sales where people were just driving by and just saw all the orange and came in and looked around. The other day we kind of dressed everything up a little bit for Christmas. We've got a Rudolph and a Santa out front. Rudolph is pulling our tractor package out there. Santa's riding along behind him there. We've got some toys. If any grandparents out there are looking for something to get their grandbabies, we've got some orange toys. And while you're in there, you may want to get them an RTV. I've never seen a grandkid or grandpa that didn't like riding around in an RTV. RTV are our name for our side-by-sides. They're all four-wheel drive. We have gas, diesel models. Some are workhorses. Some will go about a little over 40 miles an hour. So they're kind of fun. Of course, we have tractors or lawnmowers, just all different kinds of equipment that you can need.
Well, we've kind of been talking about the RTVs a little more here lately, but great gift idea.
Heck yeah.
Just a wonderful thing to have.
I'd love to get one for Christmas if there's anybody out there.
If you've got a little land especially.
Oh, yeah. Anything over 2 or 3 acres would be great. We have a lot of people with 5-acre tracts. That's been a big deal the last 20 years, selling things in 5-acre tracts. And they just want to get out and ride around. And like I said, a lot of guys, they'll use them for duck hunting, deer hunting. We use one for deer hunting every year. We've got some stuff we ride around in. And like I said, grandparents like to put the grandbabies back in there. You'll be the favorite grandparent if you've got one of those. So.
Do you have great terms on those like you do the rest of your
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they either offer 0% financing on those, just like they do everything else. You can get that and keep that going, or they've got some other ways you can do some low rate financing and get up to $2,500 off. So some good deals.
Yeah. Well, the Kubota RTVs, you'll find them there at Absolute Kubota, of course, along with all the rest. You've got this month here. I guess you'll sell. You sell more of them in December, really?
Oh yeah. I think actually last year our dealership might have been the number one selling dealership in the country of the 850s for one single dealership. Jonathan and I really got out and pushed those last year, and it just seems like I said they're so versatile on so many different reasons you could use them, whether it's just hunting or riding around on your farm or working on your farm, getting around.
It can be a complete work vehicle. It can be a complete recreation vehicle.
Either way
or
you want
anything in between.
Anything in between or both, of course.
So versatile.
Yeah, that and along with like everything right now is just the 0% financing on everything. A lot of things are no payment for 90 days. So you can come in today and you won't have a payment till, I guess at the end of February, you'd have a payment. But it's just awesome, man. It's just a great way to get stuff.
Well, again, the new location is 1506 West Main, Absolute Kubota. You'll find Don there. You'll find T.R. Kirby. The two of you are pretty much in sales now.
Yeah, we're in sales. Everybody's got their own area there. It's nice inside. Right now, we're 7 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're still 7 to 4 on Saturdays. We may go to a different hour set on Saturday, but for right now, we're still 7 to 5, Monday through Friday. 7 to 4 on Saturday. This is my Saturday to work, so if you're off, come see me.
All right, again, 1506 West Main. It's I've been saying about 3/4 of a mile. That's a guess from where you used to be.
Yeah, it's not very far down the road.
And wonderful location, so much to see, and great people to take care of you.
We hope
Service after the sale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolute
Will
Kubota.
we see you next Monday?
Yes.
Okay, the whole month of December is yours?
Yes.
Unless Matt makes a change.
That will be okay, too.
Well, Don Hamlet, good to see you
Thank
again.
you.
We appreciate you being with us, and we will look forward to your next visit.
All right, y'all have a great day.
All right, we're about 10 minutes after the hour. I have invited Sheriff Bryan to come out and be with us this morning. And guess what? Captain Scott Moore is here. Scott, good morning to you.
Glad to be here as always.
Well, it's nice to see you, and we'll find out probably more from you about the schools than we would from the sheriff, but I hope the sheriff is okay. He's just on special assignment or something, I take it.
Had something come up the last second, so he asked if I could fill in this morning. I said, absolutely.
Yeah, well, again, always good to have you. What has been going on with you? What's I like to ask, what's been the biggest thing on your plate here of late?
We've had a few things going on, of course, with the pandemic that we're going through has changed a lot of stuff. I know the schools have made a lot of adjustments with having to have a few schools to go to virtual and or with a hybrid schedule where they're bringing in students every other day and then on Fridays, making it remote on those days. And so it's affected what they do. I know our numbers are way down from last year because of the amount of students that are, limited to being at schools during the day. But other than that, I mean, everything's going great. Everything's rolling smooth, and hopefully we can get through the holidays and, start off fresh next year.
How has this goes? We're talking about since March, really, but how has it affected the sheriff's department overall?
Of course, we had to make a lot of adjustments from the beginning, and Sheriff Bryan has done a great job from day one of implementing different precautionary measures that, for our staff and deputies to take while we're dealing with the public, and make sure we have all the personal protection equipment that we need and things of that nature. So, as far as us, how we respond to calls, interacting with people, we're taking a lot of measures because when we get called to a scene, called to a home, we may not know if that person has coronavirus or something like that. So we have to take every precautionary measure that we can.
Well, what happens if you do come in contact with some patrolman or some officer is with somebody who finds out or even at the time is positive for the coronavirus? Is that an immediate quarantining, or how do you handle that?
There's several things we can do. Obviously, if that deputy starts showing symptoms, they're definitely going to be quarantined and having to take a test. Every situation is different because this virus is still so unknown about everything, that comes with it. So, I had, a direct contact with a family member a couple weeks ago in the same household, and I was not showing any signs. I felt fine, stayed away from that person, and stayed outside and hunted and rode on a four-wheeler and stuff like that to avoid it. So, and then you got those people out there that don't show symptoms that may have it, and that's kind of the scary thing about it. is being asymptomatic and things like that. So it's just there's a lot of unknown, that comes with that.
Well, how about the jail? I mean, if it happens there, it's got to be a scary thing for everybody. And I think we've done pretty well there. But how prepared are you for a big outbreak at the Wilson County Jail?
That's one of the situations you look at, and any jail within the country is definitely at risk because you got people coming in and out every day, and you don't know what they've been exposed to. And of course, we, as the correctional officers back there, we provide them with masks and everything that they can to not only, if someone was to come in positive, we got to make sure that we do what we can to protect ourselves and protect other inmates. So obviously we have an area if someone was to come in that we, make sure that they're isolated and that type of thing. But, we've had cases back there with inmates. We've had cases with our employees. And again, I think that along with Sheriff Bryan and the jail administrator, Major David Bennett's done a phenomenal job of limiting those exposures that have occurred in the jail.
One other thing, your jail population, I take it, is you don't have too many senior citizens in jail, do you? It seems that us older people have underlying conditions, maybe more, and more older people seem to be dying from it. To get to the point here, in your jail population, mostly younger people.
Yeah, it comes with all ages, but predominantly it's, under the age of 65. 65 is usually a target age, that, when you start going above 65 and looking at the statistics, the rate of people, who have the underlying health conditions and things like that are a lot more risk versus someone who's 30. So we do have predominantly a young to low middle age population back there in the jail.
But really, so far, you'd have to say it's been pretty good, hasn't it? I mean, you've had some challenges there, but you've made it pretty well so far.
I think we've done very well, exceptionally well. Of course, you can't prevent the coronavirus from entering any facility or building or household or anything like that. You just got to do the best thing you do once you are exposed to it or have that person who is positive to make sure that you do everything you do to contain that.
Well, I know I get tired of talking about it, and especially seeing it on television, and I'm tired of us talking about this. We're going to a break. We come back, we're going to talk about something else. Captain good. Scott Moore of the Lebanon with the Wilson County Sheriff's Department is here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and the Works Vehicle Checkup is $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. THP is going to check on an accident not too far from the Whites Creek Pike exit there on 24 eastbound coming in from Jolton, where it's already very heavy this time of the morning in that area there on 24 eastbound again, just past Whites Creek Pike, between Whites Creek Pike and OHB. Riley Parkway entrance ramp to Murfreesboro Pike on an accident. Starting to pick up now on Belinda Parkway there in Mount Juliet, headed towards the interstate. To cater your next holiday party coming up, call Prince's Hot Chicken or simply go online, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right end, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Titan ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Steamlow Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Monday morning. Captain Scott Moore with the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. What else are we talking about this morning? You're involved in everything. You're a public information officer, so you've got to know everything, at least a little bit about everything that's going on up there. Even the secrets the sheriff probably doesn't want you to tell.
Yeah, sometimes that's a scary thing, knowing that all these different things rotating inside my brain. But I think that this morning would be a good time to talk about porch pirates, given the holiday season. So I know as of today's date, we've only had one isolated situation, but last week I put a lot of information out there for our citizens to, give some safety tips to go by to help prevent that. Because, again, the pandemic that we're in poses a lot of problems because a lot of people don't want to go shopping and, get into the crowd with the possibility of getting it. So online shopping over the last few years, especially this year, is at the highest it's ever been with having packages delivered.
And I guess you have the U.S. Postal Service. If it's big enough, they're going to bring it and put it on your porch, plus the others that we know, UPS and whoever. But they're all over the place. You see them all the time. And it's probably, if somebody's not home and don't have somebody looking out for their place, it's not too difficult to do that. Now, I hope there's a good penalty for those that get caught, because that's bad.
It is. I mean, you've got people buying gifts for their loved ones and, friends and coworkers during this holiday season, and, hardworking people who, are spending this money to provide gifts. And then you have someone who is intentionally riding around trying to find, different, whether it's FedEx or UPS or whatever, dropping off packages and just chomping at the bit. And if they don't see a vehicle at the house and they drop the package right off at the front door, it's too easy to take. So, again, there's a lot of safe tips out there that they can do to help prevent that.
Yeah. What are some of the things you'd recommend?
One thing that we put out was to try to schedule your packages, obviously, when you're home. If that's not possible, request your packages to be held at the delivery service facility for you to pick up at your convenience. Request for the delivery service to obtain a signature upon delivery of the package. And then you have, installing surveillance cameras. And that's real big, especially for the cases that the detectives are investigating as they come up. And then one thing I thought that was very important was consider using a friend, relative, or neighbor's address if they're home more frequently or live in a more secluded area. And obviously, if you're driving through a subdivision by a house and you see someone that is taking a package off the front porch and there's nobody there and they don't go inside the house and they hop in a vehicle and leave, it's very important just to try to get that physical description of them, clothing description, and then immediately call the local law enforcement agency to report that.
What about their vehicle tag, if you can?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be as observant as you can, because those are the type questions that our dispatch is going to be asking them. Again, make, type, vehicle, if you can provide that, and that just allows for a better response and trying to look out for that vehicle.
I take it if they are caught, that it's not too hard to. I mean, if they've got something with somebody else's name on them, I don't think it would be very hard to prove that they are a porch pirate, and then let the judge or the jury decide their punishment. But isn't a conviction pretty easy if you catch them?
That is correct. And again, there's theft can be anywhere from misdemeanor to a felony. Anything under $500 is a misdemeanor. Anything over is considered a felony. And so, again, that's one of those things. There's a lot of stuff that I can deal with, but one thing that's hard for me to deal with since I've been in law enforcement is someone stealing from somebody else. That's just a low blow to everybody that's involved, and that's just one thing that I can't tolerate. I know myself, but another safe tip that I left off was, and this is something to me that's very important. If someone is, or a family is going on vacation, going to visit another family out of state for a period of time, to make sure that you place a hold on your mail that's being delivered. That way it just don't continue to pile up and things like that. So those are a few safe tips that we recommend for our citizens to, try to implement during this holiday season, and for that fact, anytime, because again, it's got to where anytime all year round, it's just convenient to have the packages delivered there.
Well, I've got some good neighbors, and whenever we go for more than a day or so, they come and get the mail out of my mailbox. Isn't that nice?
That's very good. That's good neighbors right there.
Well, and you can, as long as you can trust them, and so far it's all been great. And this has probably been going on for 25, 30 years. I don't know, but some good advice there, and hopefully we won't have a lot of this. What's the penalty? I mean, if it's a misdemeanor, the penalty's less than a felony, of course. But there's jail time usually, or restitution, or something's involved, isn't it?
Right. It all depends on the record. I mean, obviously, if they have nothing on their record versus someone who has a lengthy record, the maximum penalty for misdemeanor is 11 months, 29 days. So it could be anywhere from that to serving, a month in jail, or it could be situation where they're put on probation, have restitution, court fines, and that type of thing, where they're on probation for a length of time and have to stay out of trouble. And if they were arrested at probation, they would be arrested and violate that probation at their own.
There's a penalty to pay if you get caught. It could be more or less, but I don't think any of us want to. I mean, just court costs anymore is enough to scare me
That's
off.
correct. And attorney's fees and everything else. So.
Oh, we got about 5 minutes left, Captain Scott Moore. What else you thinking about this morning?
About two, I guess not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago, our Senior Citizens Awareness Network, or as we call SCAN, had their appreciation day for all the SCAN volunteers. And so it was a great turnout. And of course, this year was not our traditional Christmas with our volunteers, but we had an alternative that provided a safe environment where they drove up, and we were able to show our appreciation with them. I know Hunt's Pizza provided fresh cooked pizza, and they done a phenomenal job there. And we can't say enough about our volunteers. They do so much behind the scenes with our elderly, and again, over the last few months with what we're in, we're having to change a lot what we traditionally done with our elderly, and we still stay in communication with them. But Debbie Perret, who's the director, and Sergeant Don Witherspoon, who helps her out, and then all of our volunteers just does an amazing job with our elderly and provides services for them. And I can't say enough about them and what they do, because we've got a lot of contact from agencies outside of our state that's want to model what our SCAN is doing.
I'm thinking Sheriff Terry Ashe, when he was sheriff, started this, and Sheriff Bryan has continued it. And anybody that knows Debbie Perret and Sergeant Witherspoon as well, they are very dedicated people, and they just do a lot. It's great to have them for these people that they really look after and help take care of.
They do, and this is a volunteer service, and there's no telling how many volunteer hours, not only from the top down, that is put into this, and it's just people who genuinely want to go out and help other people and get do whatever they need to do to make sure that that it's accomplished and our elderly are taken care of. So again, during this time period is a very tough moment for our elderly, because it's hard not being. I know for me, for instance, my grandparents are gone, but if they were still alive, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't able to go see them because of them having underlying health conditions or whatever the case may be.
Well, changing gears a little bit here, how's traffic? Your patrolmen out in the county roads where they patrol and so on. Anything really going on? Any news from that? We're still looking for speeders, I guess, and there are traffic accidents that occur from time to time that they have to take care of.
We do, and a couple things that we've run across over the last few months is car burglaries. Where a lot of people just carelessly may leave valuables within their car as they're getting out. And again, I may be on my phone when I get home, and as I'm getting out of the car, I just forget to, and I have to remember to go back and do it because I just get tied up in the moment and forget about it. And, we've had several traffic stops that, a lot of those traffic stops were confiscating and a lot of drugs. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago we had blue heroin and a couple other opioids that were found in the vehicle, along with a lot of money, where the possibility of them selling, delivering, manufacturing the drug was there, with all the stuff that we found. So, it's our patrol is staying busy, and, it's still a lot of crime going on, even though during the pandemic, a lot of people are unable to work a job or have a job. And so a lot of the criminals out there are going around trying to take stuff to provide for their drug habit or dealing or whatever the case may be.
Well, we got just a minute left here. I got to put in a plug, I guess, this morning for Vicki Mofield in your office. She's always keeps us straight here in the right date, and make sure that the sheriff or you get out here. But I do want to add, the sheriff is okay, and I mean, yes, he's doing all right.
He is. He's doing great.
He's just real busy, I take it.
That's correct. And Vicki's a sweetheart, and every time that she calls my phone, I always answer, and I'm kind of, because I always think that something bad, that something's came up and she wants me to handle. But every time I see her, she'll start off by going, well, this is not bad, so just relax, So, but she does a phenomenal job of what she does.
Well, you're quite a team, really, and y'all have worked together for years, a lot of you, and so just keep up the good work, okay?
Sure will. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us this morning, Captain Scott Moore, Public Information Officer for the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, here for Sheriff Robert Bryan. And that is part one of Coleman & Company. Keep it here for more, FM 98.9.
And to 7:29, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental. Fully staffed service center, parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, located 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're still working that wreck right now. People are rubbernecking as they drive by, and I'm talking about 24 eastbound just past Whites Creek Pike. Between OHB and Whites Creek Pike, they are coming in from Jolton. All the traffic behind it in from Montgomery County, Clarksville, trying to blend in there. Traffic's also a little bit tied up on that earlier wreck, Briley Parkway ramp to Murfreesboro Pike. Hopefully that'll be moved over in just a few more minutes. Sleep with the Sharks in a grown-up atmosphere at Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies, December 26th. All the details at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas is back for their 11th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. For just $25 per vehicle, you will experience the dazzling sights and sounds of over 2 million lights synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes without ever leaving the safety and comfort of your own vehicle. The Dancing Lights of Christmas, 5 p.m. nightly, November 13th through January 3rd. Don't forget to visit Mistletoe Merchants holiday shopping event with over 100 merchants showcasing their one-of-a-kind items, December 4th through December 6th. Attend both events and get discount tickets.
To kick off the work week, skies will be partly cloudy with highs in the 50s. On Tuesday, we'll have plenty of sunshine with temperatures topping out in the lower 50s. For Wednesday, you can expect mostly sunny skies and highs climbing into the mid-50s. By Thursday, highs will reach the 60s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman & Company here on a Monday morning. As usual, Billy Mullinax is here, front and center, just right on time. And
good morning, Coleman.
It is good to see you, and you always cheer up our Mondays and make the week go a little better. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Billy is the general manager for Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet, 600 Pleasant Grove Road. Now, the sheriff wasn't here this morning, and Captain Moore didn't say this to you, but he missed his opportunity to call you no hangover.
That's exactly right. The sheriff would have for sure.
The sheriff would have probably said it twice.
He would have said it for sure.
Oh, no haggle pricing. Everybody pays the same great low price at Rocky Williams, and Billy is just chomping at the bit to tell us all about it this morning.
Coleman, I'm always chomping at the bit to tell our story because our story is so different from what you're typically going to find. We say it all the time here. We price our cars and not our customers. And, Coleman, most people don't feel like they're a good negotiator to begin with. And so when you go to buy a vehicle, you're always thinking, I wonder if I could have got a better price if I would have, if I'd have just held out a little longer, or if I'd have waited another day, or, if I'd have left, or there's all kind of scenarios that go through your mind because you don't want, at the end of the day, people don't want to be taken advantage of. And when everybody doesn't pay the same price, Coleman, you're taking advantage of those people that pay a higher price.
Yeah.
Well, we've taken all of that out of the way because nobody, and I mean nobody, can get a lower price than what our posted price is. If I buy a vehicle, I'm going to pay exactly what that 18-year-old walking in off the street that has never bought a vehicle before, never negotiated anything before, I'll pay exactly the same price that person pays.
And there are some ladies who are a little bit maybe shy, not pushy, and feel that they can be vulnerable to a situation that's not like yours.
That's exactly right, Coleman. And the ladies can certainly feel comfortable and at home. And we've just wanted to create a different environment for people to purchase a vehicle, an environment that is not intimidating, that it doesn't make you, have fear or stress. We feel like that we've created something that it's a good way to sell a car, and it's a good way to buy a car, because that and people sometimes will say, well, I think that's overpriced, or I think that price is too high, and that's if you feel like that it's priced too high, don't buy it. And that's honestly, we want people to feel good about when they do buy a Coleman. So many times people are intimidated, or they're pressured into buying something that later they say, boy, I wish I hadn't have done that. If somebody's not comfortable buying a vehicle from us, Coleman, I'd rather them think about it. Make sure that they're happy, because when they leave there, I don't want them to say, well, boy, they pressured me into buying that. I didn't even want to.
Happy customers are repeat customers usually.
Absolutely.
And that's what you like. And we haven't mentioned your website this morning, but the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars you can see at RockyWilliams.com.
Might see your neighbor there, Coleman. The sheriff is always calling me no haggle, and the Mayor Hutto, the couple of times that we have failed to do that, to mention this, you might see your neighbor, he has always let me know, hey, you forgot that.
We don't want to forget that.
So we've got to take care of that also.
There you go. But it's a good way to just remember to remind people of your website, because anymore people are so internet savvy, and even older people have become that way. And when your entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars are right there in one place, and you can see that without any obligation. Of course, if you want to leave your name and address, that's fine. Or if you got maybe a follow-up question or something. But I mean, there's no, you can go to RockyWilliams.com, and you people there don't even know, other than that somebody made a hit.
That's exactly right, Coleman. And if you want, if you want information, we're certainly there to get the information to you, either through email or a phone call. Or if you want to set an appointment, you can actually schedule an appointment through our website to come in and look at a vehicle. But at the end of the day, we want our website to be as transparent and friendly as what you are when you're at the dealership, because we don't want people to have to do something to get their best price, or because the price is the price, Coleman, and it's a great price. It's a price that other dealers many times don't even want to sell you the vehicle for.
Well, we're right here in December. A great time to go by. Today would be a good day to visit Rocky Williams, see the aquarium, talk to Billy.
Come by and see me. We'll certainly let you look at the aquarium. We had a couple of kids in on Saturday that were just in awe at our aquarium. You know, we add fish and we've added some crabs lately to the aquarium and you'd be surprised, people that are there on a somewhat regular basis said, you know, they'll notice, well, I didn't see that last time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
So just come by and see us.
Is Rocky as proud of that aquarium as you are?
He is very proud of it. He is. He is very proud of the aquarium, and we both are.
Yeah.
We've got a beautiful dealership, Coleman, and warm and inviting, and that's what we've wanted to create, both in our building and our environment and our people.
All right, it's all there at 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. We don't have time to talk about service after the sale, but you sure offer that and a lot more. And, of course, they price their cars and not their customers at Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. Billy, have a good week. See you next Monday. Okay, we're 20 and a half before the hour, and I have invited John Grant to come and be with us this morning. And John is here and ready to talk about Compassionate Hands and shelters and a lot of other things that's going on now that winter's almost here. Actually, the winter weather is here. The calendar doesn't say winter yet. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Coleman. It's good to be with you.
Well, it is good to have you today, and let me just thank you. I don't know that our audience needs to know everything, but it was a wonderful opportunity to have Craig Colquitt last Friday, and I thought he was not going to be available, and I'd already called you, and you said you'd be glad to come, and then he makes himself available, and you so graciously bowed out and agreed to come today. So you did me two favors, and I appreciate that. But it's good to have you here to talk about what you're doing, because there are people in need, and there are people who, without you or somebody helping out, might not have a place to spend the night. And of course, you've taken the ball and run with it here for a couple of years, I guess.
This is our 8th winter hosting people in our churches.
Well, but you weren't in the position you were
Correct.
in 8 years ago. You've been doing this for 8 years, but you stepped up more recently.
Yeah, the churches of Wilson County have provided homeless shelters in our church buildings this is our 8th winter.
Yeah.
And I was part of that original group. College Hills, where I was on staff, was one of those first 8 churches. And what changed in 2018 was I resigned from being a minister with College Hills and went full-time with Compassionate Hands. So yes, this has gone up to a new level because we've added Sheila Weathers last year as my coworker, and then a third coworker this fall, Alan Tack. So we've gone from 0 staff to 3 full-time in a matter of a couple of years. So that's been fun to watch.
Well, we got a new location to talk about too, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, well, when the virus hit, we realized we had to change our model, that a lot of our churches were keeping guests in small spaces, and then it may be the youth group is in there till 5 o'clock, and then the homeless guests come in at 7 o'clock, and you weren't quite sure who was going to be there and what kind of germs might be in the space. And so we needed spaces we could sanitize. So essentially, the CDC recommends big shelters, lots of space, and daily sanitizing. So we looked around our churches, and the Glade Church said they had a space that could serve as the women's shelter. So every night this winter, the Glade Church is keeping the ladies. We couldn't find a space big enough to keep the men that was dedicated and could be sanitized daily. And so eventually, this was about a 4-month process, but it led to our purchasing the old Kids World facility on College Street in 1st of November. And that's pretty exciting to have a ministry center that's our winter shelter, but then it'll be a ministry center for years to come, year-round.
So it kind of serves as both, big enough for you to have your office and do administration there, as well as house the people.
Yes, it's a great facility. It has 6 large rooms, And 3 of those rooms are serving as bunk rooms where we've got cots spread out and a lot of distance between all the guests. Then 2 rooms that are dining rooms and also can serve as classrooms. And then the 6th room is our office space. So me and Sheila and Alan are sharing that one large room and working out of there.
What's your biggest need right now? Is it money, maybe?
We have several needs. Funding is definitely a need when you've purchased a facility. We've never owned property before, and we've taken on about $800,000 worth of new expenses in the last few months between staffing and facilities. So donations are really good, and people can mail a check to P.O. Box 1156 here in Lebanon, 37088. The other thing is we need volunteers. Mm-hmm. We need people to spend the night overnight. We need people to bring meals. We need people to wash the linens during the daytime. And we've got CDC guidelines where you can do that safely. We need people to drive the bus. Just a regular bus, you don't have to have a special license. And so lots of opportunities to serve. You could serve one time. You could serve once a week. You could serve every day. A lot of opportunities.
Is there a screening process or anything? If you really want to volunteer, how difficult is it to become a volunteer?
There's not any kind of difficult screening. We're serving in the name of Jesus, so we really like for all of our volunteers to be Christians who are doing this because they love Jesus and want to show the love of Jesus. But we have people that are volunteers that may not be Christians, and that's fine. The real screening is, do you have a heart to serve? And are you willing to show up and just jump in and do what's needed? The biggest challenge is just coordinating. We've had volunteers, I think, get a little bit frustrated that they had emailed us in mid-November, wanted to volunteer, and it took us 2 or 3 weeks to sort out. We're scheduling about 30 volunteers every single night, all winter long, and it's a massive coordination project. So,
are you the main one doing that?
Well, that's why we've added a full-time staffer to organize our shelters, Alan Tack. He's great with logistics and coordination, so he's our shelter manager.
Okay.
So he's mainly doing that, but then I'm working with him. Mm-hmm. And then Sheila Weathers coordinates our volunteers with the dinners each night. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of people serving every night.
Well, the 3 of you must really have each have a full-time job.
We do, yes. Right. And we're having a great time working together. It's a great team.
Good. John Grant is with us. It's time for us to take a break. You're listening to Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Starting to bunch up again here at times on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane as they work to clear that earlier wreck on 24 east between Whites Creek Pike and OHB. Latest wreck over in Madison appeared to be non-injury, tying up the 2000 block of Gallatin Pike. That's not going to back it up too bad in that area. Hey, sleep with the sharks in a grown-up atmosphere at Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies, December 26th. All the details at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to rockywilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to rockywilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
Get excited for Christmas as you take a stroll through Fiddler's Grove Historic Village and see the buildings come to life with animated Christmas decorations. Bring your friends and family to enjoy this safe outdoor adventure. CDC guidelines are being followed. Masks encouraged. Hand sanitizing available throughout the walk. Tours available Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now through December 19th. More details at fiddlersgrovetennessee.com. For the love of Tennessee, visit Wilson County and travel safe.
Have you heard the latest news about Exmark lawnmowers? The brand picked 2-to-1 over any other brand? Exmark is now honoring all police, fire, EMT, and military with the Exmark Honors Program. Receive up to $1,500 off on select models if you're a current or former police, fire, EMT, or military personnel. No better time than to step up to an Exmark. Come see the team at Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company, welcome here on a Monday morning. A little bit on the cool side out there. I tell people it's really not cold till it gets 20 degrees, and then it's cold. It's really not hot till it gets 90 degrees, and then it's hot. That's kind of the way I look at it. But if it's 30 degrees, I'm cold. John Grant is with us, and cold is part of what the thing is all about here, because you're trying to keep people from being too cold and freezing to death, as we had some in Nashville years ago, and hopefully nobody here has had to experience that. But because we do have compassionate hands and what you're doing, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it really did get cold early this year. It was down to about 21 one night last week. So. Yeah, we've had the 20s.
Yeah, I thought of you last week and wondered how things are going, because I mean, we can predict the weather a little bit. We can see the extended forecast, but that's about it. You don't know now how cold it's going to be on January the 1st, but you got to be prepared.
Right. Yeah, we're ready to be open every night with homeless shelters. And this December really has opened up cold. Last winter, December was mild to start the first couple of weeks. But boy, it was cold. November 30th, we could have been open. We just didn't have the volunteers ready. But we've seen our numbers this first week of December doubled. We've been keeping 15 men and 2 women on average, and that's about twice what we had last winter. And I think it's because of the cold. It could be because of the economy.
Now, you had said earlier, for those who might not have been listening when you first started 10 or so minutes ago, you've got the Gladeville, I believe it's the Gladeville Baptist Church?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, well, the Glade now, you got to be a one-word name for your church if you want to be really cool now. So, it's Gladeville Baptist Church, but now they're the Glade, and they're an amazing church.
And that's where the shelter is for women.
Every night, they have a building that they have set aside, their mission center. The women stay there every night this winter, and then we go in and sanitize every morning.
And then here in Lebanon, you've got 214 North College, which was Kids World Child Care.
Yes, and now it's
campus, I believe. Now it's yours. You purchased that.
Yeah, now it's the Center for Hope and Renewal for Compassionate Hands. So, and the reason we named it that is because when somebody's homeless, a lot of times they've given up hope, and we want everyone who walks through the doors, volunteers and guests, to experience hope and renewal by being there.
Well, here again, you can use some help. Monetary donations are wonderful. It takes money to run your program. You've got a building to pay for. I guess you haven't. I don't think it's all paid for.
Not yet. We're working on it.
Working on it. But you can volunteer your time. You can volunteer your part of your checkbook or whatever, and it's all no doubt appreciated. I know we've talked about this before, John, but there are people who maybe don't feel so compassionate about some of these people who are homeless. They could do better. Why don't they? And this sort of thing. You have looked at this from their viewpoint, I guess, and have been associated with them and kind of know where they're coming from and know the struggles they're going through. I mean, it's not just the simple thing of getting a job and getting on your feet. There's more to it than that, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. As we look at our friends who lack housing, which is kind of the term we prefer, just you say someone's homeless, that almost sounds like you've labeled them. So we use the words friends or guests. They're guests in our homes. They're friends who lack housing. And the reasons people lack housing are a lot of reasons. The most common reasons would be untreated mental illness that they've got some kind of paranoia or some kind of issue that causes them to lose jobs, causes relationships to blow up, and their families doesn't know what to do with them, and so the person ends up on the street. Second thing would be addictions.
Yeah.
A lot of addictions with our guest. And then the third is just bad luck. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, addiction is, we hate to hear of it happening to somebody.
Sure.
And then a lot of times I think the average person doesn't really understand that, and especially once somebody has an addiction, how difficult it is to overcome that.
Oh, yes.
But you can't let them starve to death or freeze to death.
Right. Yeah, we had a man who died this past summer in August. They actually found his body in the creek under the Lebanon Square. But he was a man that named Donnie, and our volunteers loved Donnie because even though he struggled with alcohol and had tried to get into rehab, he just couldn't beat it. He was a slave to alcohol, and it was so sad. So many of us tried to help him get sober, help him get his life turned around, and he'd do well for a little while, and then he just couldn't break the habit. Relapses are part of recovery, and some of our folks have been addicts for years and years, and it's heartbreaking.
Well, there's another addiction too. I mean, to nicotine.
Sure.
That some people just almost can't quit smoking, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, smoking's a tough addiction. I've heard smoking is the toughest of all the addictions to break because it's more socially acceptable than a lot of the addictions. So,
well, anyway, I interrupted you there. You were going to talk about a third thing.
Oh, yeah. The third thing I think that contributes to homelessness is just bad luck. That you've got a young man and maybe mom marries a new stepdad, and the stepdad doesn't want the young man there. So we'll see a lot. That's how we see a lot of, say, 19, 20-year-olds become homeless because of domestic conflict.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just see people, they just lose a job or they get sick or they go through a divorce, and just, nobody plans to be homeless, but life can be hard. And this year especially, so many of our friends, they've been working like day labor jobs. They go out to construction sites and work for a day at a time. A lot of those jobs have dried up this winter with the economy being so slow right now.
So you're going to be you start December 1.
We've served 6 nights now.
You have an end date?
Yeah, we go through March 15th. So 6 nights done and done well, and 99 to go.
But it is available every night, Sunday
every night.
Through Saturday through whatever.
Yes, 7 nights a week for 105 straight nights, even Christmas night, even New Year's, even Groundhog's Day. We're open every night.
Well, you can use volunteers, you can use funding,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that's probably the 1 and 2, and I don't know in which order necessarily. If you don't have some volunteers, you can't be open. So
correct.
And if you don't have some money, you can't be open either. Not very long.
Yeah. The most significant thing is the volunteers, because if we've got the volunteers, we can serve really well, and money really doesn't feed a person or keep a person safe and warm. So, I mean, it helps.
Do you still have quite a bit of financial assistance from a number of churches?
Oh, the churches of this community are amazing. We have 40 churches who contribute funding, volunteers, resources. The church provides our bus, so we don't have to purchase our own or insure a bus. One night this week I was looking around, we had 7 different churches serving in the shelter one night. And that's pretty rare to see that many churches working together to address a community problem. And that's happening every night.
John, if somebody wants to talk with you, maybe they are intrigued by what we've talked about here this morning and wondering where they might fit in. If they want to talk to you, what's the best thing to do?
Well, the easiest way to reach us would be through our website, compassionatehandstn.org. or through our email address, compassionatehandstn@gmail.com. Those are probably the most accessible ways. You can call our work phone is 615-784-9897. But website and email tend to be quicker ways for people to connect with us.
Well, with what we've gone through this year with Corona and all of this, I know there's some extra precautions that you have to take, but other than that, is it even still more difficult this time so far, or how would you rate this compared to the other 7 years?
Yeah, this winter is so different. And I guess I would say first that God is so good. God is bringing good about through this. I mean, we've got a building, and that was part of our 5-year plan, was to eventually get a facility. But we're only in year 3 of that 5-year plan. And because of Corona, we had to purchase this facility. So we feel like God has blessed us with this facility. We've lost about half of our volunteers because they were older and retired, and God's raising up new volunteers. So we've got several new churches who joined us this winter. But yeah, we're wearing masks, we're sanitizing every day. Yeah, just everything's a little more complicated. Last winter's program needed about 20 volunteers a night. This year's program needs about 25 volunteers a night. It's just a little more complicated, and it's working. God's providing.
Well, what about the number of people who really need you? Is that increased this year?
It's hard to say.
Because it's only been 6 nights.
We've only done 6 nights. And like I said, we were double the number from last December, the first week, but it was so much colder this year. Cold and rain, those are the things that bump our numbers up, that a lot of our friends would rather be out if they can, but if it's nasty weather, they'll come in. So yeah, I hear rumors that there are some large camps around town. I've not seen those. I know that several ministries do go out and serve in those camps. All for Him ministry does that, and does that in a great way. And so they would have a better sense of how many total are out there. Yeah, we're ready to host 30 men and 15 women every night, and hope we don't have many nights with that many. But last winter, our biggest men's night was 32, and our biggest women's night, I believe, was 12. So we're ready for a few more if we need that.
All right, we got 15 seconds. Give us that email address again, if you will.
Sure. The email is compassionatehandstn@gmail.com, and the website is the same, compassionatehandstn.org.
All right. John Grant, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate your visit and hope things go well.
Thank you.
That's it for a Monday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Tuesday edition. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.